Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, or good day wherever you are in the world, and welcome to the next episode of No Dice, No Glory. Sponsored by our jobs that actually pay us money, we're coming to you not at all live from an abandoned arms factory deep under a mountain in West Virginia. We are proud to proffer to you the finest in wargaming coverage. Without any further ado, let's get this show on the road.
Hey, well, welcome, Sean, and we're back for another episode of No Dice, No Glory. And where are we today?
Well, we're here at Historicon, Mitch. Where are you?
I wish I knew. So, yeah, we're here at Historicon 2019 in the gorgeous, and I really mean that. This is so much nicer than the host.
This is a nice venue.
This is, for anyone that did not come to Historicon, you missed out on a great event because the host is so much better than the host.
Yeah, this is so much better. So it's at the Lancaster Convention Center in downtown Lancaster. You know, there's some warts, too, the parking. But, it's interesting. We're playing right next to the vendor hall, which to me is dangerous.
There are guards to prevent intermixing between the gaming and the vendor hall.
Yes.
And they'll bark at you, too.
They will yell at you.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot of people here. But let's go and first to talk about the No Dice, No Glory Blood and Plunder event. And it was Tom Mullane's first time playing Blood and Plunder.
It was.
And what'd you think?
I learned a lot.
Yeah, and we're smiling at each other. You can't see this.
We can't
because
see
there's a story.
There's a story here. Well, before we get to the story, let's just say thanks to Mike Tunez, thanks to Rufus Devane, and the whole family.
Kai Devane.
Because they were great. The terrain they brought in was awesome. We had 10 players?
No.
We had 12?
Yes.
Well, we had one guy who had a lead, but otherwise it was great.
I haven't played a game.
Yeah, you even got to come in.
So
and this is one of the first Blood and Plunder events.
This is actually the biggest Blood and Plunder event, I think.
There you go.
I'm not sure.
No Dice, No Glory record.
It is. And we're going to get to James's event, too. So it was interesting. So Tom is, and many of you guys remember, 3 years ago, during the first ever Team Yankee Nationals at Historicon, Tom got on top of a chair to take a picture while I am standing on a chair addressing everybody, because we had 86 people that year.
I was trying to make you look good.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, I hear all this noise, and what happened was the chair attacked Tom. He became known as Chairborne ever since that day, and he's never lived it down.
Hey, how much would we have to pay you to recreate that moment now?
He did
on air.
Because
he recreated it today.
Never been on.
Yeah. Oh wait, so there's a story that I'm not.
I was on top.
So while that was a fault of dexterity and deftness, this today was a fault of addition and subtraction. And I'm going to tell you, James.
I teach high school social studies.
Yeah.
I don't teach math, and apparently I'm incapable of reading properly as well. So
Jay, I'm going to go through this. So this was a 100-point Blood and Plunder event. And in a lot of games, you pay for a unit. Like Panzer V platoon is 5 points or, 15 points.
So it's completely reasonable. I would like to interject and say it's a completely reasonable way.
I don't think so.
To assume that it works.
So I said to him, use the team builder to build your force. And he's like, nah.
I said no.
He said no.
No.
So he plays his first two games, and he loses them. Were they even close?
No. I got beat up pretty good.
But that's a good way to lose. Like, if you're going to lose...
No.
Lose.
No, it gets better.
It gets better. So he comes to me before the third game, which I played, and I had a great time. He goes, this number here above the unit, is that per model or is that per unit? And I go, it's per model. And he goes, I thought it was per unit. So he ended up playing the first two games with how many actual points of stuff?
I played with 172 points.
And guys were beating him with 100-point lists.
Correct. But I would like to point out that historically things weren't balanced, and maybe I helped them learn a lesson about asymmetrical warfare.
Yeah. Well, and I think that comes down to the game as well. It's what I like about the game is the flavor of forces is so broad, and they do such different things, and it's getting to know the force that you're playing. And, you picked Dutch. I picked English at first, and now I play French. I play other things that fit my playing style. So I just find it interesting that even with a 72-point bonus.
I mean, that speaks to the game rule set. If
bad
172
tactics,
points with tactics can be overcome by 100 points, 100 points with tactics can overcome 172 points.
Yeah.
That means that the rule set's not designed around the points, meaning it's not designed around models. It's designed around how can we help you do your game. So that's a good thing.
The rule set is really elegant. There's a lot of nuance to it, but it's so quick to learn that they can demo it for you in 5 minutes, and you could be playing. And I learned a lot. And the guys that we had a good group too, because I don't think anybody had some kind of dispute over the rules.
No, they were really good guys.
We had a great time.
And you brought with you 2 Amish guys, and one of them.
I did.
Yeah, sorry guys. They're right here, and one of them, Preston, can we use your last name? Or I know what your last name is. It says it right there. And Preston Jacob. He came up with you yesterday. This guy sleeps like a baby, by the way. He did not wake up. I kissed him goodnight. He didn't even roll over. And
surprise.
He played today, and he did you enjoy it, sir?
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
There's a lot of war games that I've tried out that I really wasn't into as far as the rule set and the play style, but this was definitely a lot of fun. It was definitely different to see Buccaneers of the 16 and 1700s compared to the major battles of World War I and World War II.
Big question is, are you going to play this again?
I'm sorry?
Are you going to play this game again?
Oh yeah, no. Once Blackbeard is released, I definitely plan on picking up a Blackbeard Force.
All right. Okay, that's good.
Preston also should get a medal because the two of us are in the same room with him in the hotel, and he said that he woke up around, what time was it? It
was definitely 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And what woke you up?
I'm pretty sure Tom and Mitch were having a snoring contest.
Yeah.
It woke me out of a dead sleep.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Well, between the snoring contest or Mitch staying up until 4 o'clock in the morning to talk about something, because he'll find something to talk about.
I don't shut up. I know.
Yeah, you do.
But so tomorrow, and we'll probably do another recording, it's the naval battle. It's 200 points, which means that, Tom, you could bring up to 300 points, 450 points of stuff.
400, 500 points.
And you bought a Spanish flute.
I did.
Which is a ship.
Yeah,
it's one of the bigger ships. I was looking for something more elegant and mid-range, but they've been selling out of stuff. So it's what they had. And
it's a hot game.
It's a hot game, so.
It's a hot game. So before we get to the Team Yankee Historicon tournament, one of the guys who's been on the show many times, it was Jim Best Jr., and he was doing demos today. So we're going to have Jim come here, and Jim, you got to talk into the mic. So
there we go.
So how many people came by the Battlefront booth for demos today?
I had 5 guys come to the demo.
Like 5 guys, like the burger place?
5 guys.
You were there for hours, though.
Exactly. But 2 of the guys actually played an entire game.
Oh.
Yes. So, I mean, it was a lot of fun. One of the guys that played the entire game dropped about $350 worth of product.
Did Battlefront give you a taste of that?
Yes.
They did. Well, you don't have to say. I mean, so they handed you cash.
No.
Straight up $1,000 in your bank account.
I wish.
And, for guys out there that come to cons, don't have games to play, a lot of these companies are always looking for guys to run demos. Oh, holy moly, the lights, it's getting brighter in here. I will bring back the sun. Yeah. And would you recommend, did you have fun doing that?
I did. One of the guys that came up ended up bringing 2 little 5-year-olds up to the table, and he allowed them to throw the dice and kind of explain what they were doing. And I mean, it was very beneficial to see new guys coming up to the table. One of the guys played version 2, so he learned version 4 rules, and
learning it from you.
It was very satisfying.
Right. Did you say to him before even in the demo, did you preface everything by, hey guys, I'm a dick. I measure everything, and I'm looking at Senior. He knows what I'm talking about.
It was very much a basic of what the rules were. I kind of went over the movement orders a little bit, not necessarily all of them, but the blitz and the follow me.
So a good taste of the game.
Shoot and scoot, crossing through woods and dashing, and then of course tactical movement.
And those demos at convention, that's one of the things that I like to see when I come to these things is all of these new games. Like I don't have $1,000 that I can just drop on a new game system. So I want to roll the dice. I want to see how the game works before I sit down, and it's neat to see not only people throwing games, for free, but also the companies themselves coming to these and saying, "Here, play our game."
I'll tell you what. A few years ago, Glenn and I ran Team Yankee demos, and if you played, you got a sprue.
Oh yeah, the Chieftain sprues.
We had such a good time. So, James, is there anybody you want to say hi to?
My mother.
There's no other special ladies?
I do have a girlfriend now. So.
That's big news for our listeners.
It is.
That's really big news. And you don't have to mention her name. And how long has this been going on?
2 months right now.
Right.
So it's very short right now. So
2 months is a long time.
60 days.
Yeah, 60
It
days.
is 60 days.
I've had marriages that didn't even last that long.
The milk in my fridge
She
did not
definitely
last that
talked to
long.
me today and said she wanted to drive up tonight.
I got to be honest with you. Yeah, I would love to meet her.
Well, I told her, I said, if you drive up, then you're going to watch me all day tomorrow play a game. And she was like, that doesn't sound very exciting.
You could throw a demo for your girlfriend.
It's not. And speaking of girlfriends, my road girlfriend, Tom Mullane, I'm going to turn it back to Tommy. Tommy and I are roommates again.
We are.
And the room's too big. And we're going to have 4 dudes in there tonight.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be some buggery going on.
Well, that's what you paid for.
Yeah. So the other big event that happened today was the Team Yankee Nationals. And our own James Copeland will tell us about it, buddy.
Well, it was a great tournament. We actually had 38 people sign up for the event today. Well, 42 people, but 38 people actually showed up. So a great turnout.
That is a good turnout.
And I'll tell you, while you had the regulars, you had the guys from up north come down.
The
you
best.
Had guys from
James
up
Best
south
Senior.
come up.
You had the Pittsburgh crew.
I saw at least 15 people that I have never seen at any other event that I've ever played at. So, the game is growing, and 4 rounds, it was exciting. I don't think I had a bad game today. So, great tournament so far.
So, what were you running?
Today I ran a conglomerate Air Mobile and British Recce. So, all the Milans that I could possibly fit into the points.
Tilt it.
Tilt.
Yeah. Remember what I told you before, right? Relax your throat muscles, make eye contact. Okay.
And you know how I feel about that.
Yes, I do. So, James Best Senior, what did you play today, Russians?
I played Iranian tanks with Afghansi.
How is the Iranians? How are the Iranians?
I really like the Iranian tanks. You take chieftains and
how'd you do?
I ended up doing pretty well after I figured out how to play them, I guess.
Yeah, that's an interesting point you bring up. So the Iranians, I think, are, we've all seen the forums and people thinking they're going to break the game, but after seeing them play, after having played them myself a few times, it's a force that takes some finesse to get to work.
Definitely.
But once you get them to work, they're not unstoppable. But they're a fun force to play.
Right.
They'll get where they need to be. They're fearless, so you'll bomb it around the table with your follow me's.
Yeah, you got to take them out
your
to the last man part.
Yep, you got to take them out to the last man. So.
And our own Matt Varnish, he played Syrians.
He had a hard time today.
Yeah.
Really?
I talked to him.
It's that hit on 3 BMP
his
swarm.
His dice
just
evaporated
one of those
to
lists.
His dice evaporated
to the bathroom, I guess.
I'm trying to visualize that. I really am. And that was a good turnout. It looked like some people were having fun. Because we want to see all games succeed. How many lists from Oil Wars did you guys see today?
The new lot of hybrid.
There were a lot. There were a lot of hybrids. I think I only saw 1 or 2 dedicated only. There were 2 Iraqi forces,
and 1 was Varnish,
and then 1 Syrian. So, but a lot of allies. Everyone was bringing some stuff. The first list I played against had 20 Hinds, and 8 of them were Syrian Hinds, and the other 14 were
that looked
the
like
other
a fun
12
list.
were Russian. Yeah, so let me tell you. First of all, playing against 20 Hinds with no AA defense is the worst thing in the world, unless you bring 21 Milans. And then you can do it.
Yeah, you can do it. So, yeah, because just curious about how Oil Wars. People love it or hate it. It's like any newness
I
in the
think
game.
it's a huge success.
Yeah, I think it's a huge success. I kind of like it. And,
By far and away, my favorite release for Team Yankee.
It is. It's a great book. James, how'd you finish today?
Well, after a rough start, I ended up in third place. Surprisingly, I don't know how I got there, but
Well,
third
you're a good
place.
player. And what about you, Senior?
After a rough start, I ended up in 4th.
Okay, and then the winner was Chris Jackson?
Chris Jackson took first place with 21 points.
Jackson
and then,
is the
Hobson.
master.
Yeah, and then
Andrew Hobson. Yep.
Who was playing Brits again, right?
He was playing Brits, yes, with proxied Zoo-24s as his rapiers.
Oh.
Because he forgot them
Wow.
at home and he had to borrow my
Well,
Shilkas.
I guess that's
What
good.
was Hobson's list?
He was running British infantry with a chieftain support. So
He runs the same list.
it's the basic British list. Enough stuff to do everything.
And
So-
Max Beck was Sportsman, won the Sportsman Award.
Max Beck. I voted
And
for
Bill
him.
White.
He was a great
Bill
game.
White, best painted.
Bill White knows how to paint. That's his thing.
Yes, he
He's
does.
a really good painter.
He I don't know if anyone's on Facebook, but he is a member of the 757 group.
Did you see Sulik's French?
No.
They were so gorgeous. Oh my!
It sounds like you're in love.
I was. They were very pretty.
You could ask him maybe if he does commission
He does what?
work. Maybe he can get your DeLorean painted for you.
Actually, Junior's already talked to him.
Oh, to get that DeLorean painted up.
Yeah.
That was the Nationals for Team Yankee was the DeLorean model. I'm not a huge Back to the Future fan, but I'll tell you the model itself looks pretty cool.
I have one.
Of course you do.
No, it's in that box over there. I got one.
So I know, Mitch, you didn't play today because you hate me for some reason. But what was the army you were looking to play? If you were
Holy
gonna play
moly!
today?
No, I love you like a brother. Yeah. Well, when you guys read about my IDF list that I did the preview on, and I really want to get that on the table to see how it is.
So what of that list are like? Are you excited about the Merkava? Like, are Merkavas insane? Is it the no line of sight stuff?
I like the no line of sight stuff, and to be honest with you, I don't think it's a really good list. I just really want to play it and have some fun. Beer Cart is here; it's coming. Because
And it has
it's a fun little game, and but I actually made the list of all the stuff they sent me for the review. So,
okay.
But I did buy more M60s today, so I could play that later. But
I am unaware of. I don't think anyone brought an Israeli list today.
I did not see one.
I did not see a single Israeli list
Not
today,
one.
which kind of surprised me.
I kind of surprised me too from hearing
I
about this.
I think they're going to be good. Maybe people needed more time to get practice or models.
Well,
I guess the
can tell
Merkavas
you
are
that-
sold out basically. So
That some of those lists with high price, tanks, main battle tanks, Leopard 2s, and M1 Abrams. I think some of those lists struggle today against
some of them
the
do,
hordes.
but I'll tell you what. In the top 6 places, 2 of the lists, so a third of the top lists were those heavy tank centric, very few units. So and that's something I like about Team Yankee is that you can have the horde, and you can have the very elite force. And in Team Yankee, that very elite force, because of the very low firepower requirements, you're still going to be able to attrite the enemy as they come in.
It's a good word, a trite.
Yes, that's
I
my
don't
intelligence
know.
word for the day.
I think it's a trade off, but I've seen too many lists where that those elite lists get overwhelmed.
Oh, don't get me wrong. You could definitely overwhelm. I mean, you can overwhelm anything
Right.
if given the opportunity. So, but overall, great tournament, and so far, a great
Absolutely.
Historicon. I'm looking forward to
Absolutely.
tomorrow.
Well, actually, I want to talk to Tommy about the games he played on Thursday night.
Oh, yeah.
What'd you play Thursday night, buddy?
So my friend Greg McNally and his son Peyton, they were...
Tilt your arm. There you go, buddy.
He spent, had to be 7 months painting up over, I would guess, over 250 28 millimeter figs for the Spanish Civil War.
Spanish Civil War.
He had all of the individual, like, they're called the shits now, the school bus thing.
And for guys that don't know, the Spanish Civil War was fought between the North and the South over states' rights and the abolition of slavery.
That is incorrect. That is not correct in any way.
Oh, well, at least I could count to 100.
Thank you, Mitch.
Yeah.
I'm going to take my 3-point chip. I'm going to ram it up your butt tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, so, anyway, I brought up a lot of stuff at the table. I brought mats and things like that. He kind of did his own version of Flames of War version 3 rules, and I drove down like a month and a half ago and demoed the game with him over the course of a day, like slept over on his couch and stuff, and we just kind of played through it over and over again. It was really well balanced. Players seemed to have a good time. And
it looked like they were having a good time.
It looked good. The board looked good.
What was the second game you went off to play?
I played the Irish versus the Romans, and that's Joe. I forget the guy's last name, but he's the guy who always, if anybody's been to Historicon, and you see like one of the most beautiful tables.
Oh, I know who that
in
guy
the center, and he's got the toolboxes organized with all the 28mm figs, ancients and things. So I didn't know what I was signing up for.
So did you play Boudica?
No, I played as the Romans because I wanted to bring order to chaos, but my heart wasn't in it because my wife and her family are Irish. So I just kept taking pictures of the figs that kind of looked like her dad, and then feeling sad when they charged into the wall and they got killed. So I had a good time, but I almost single-handedly lost it. I think I hope that trend does not carry on to tomorrow because Joe, the guy who's running the game, said, I've never had anybody breach the wall in 3 places before. Wow, you really lost that combat badly. I've never seen it go that badly before.
So as a Legion commander, they replaced you pretty quickly then?
I'm sure my unit was decimated.
Literally, that's 10% losses.
Literally.
So let's talk about some of the other games we played. I brought 3 games that are not even out yet. Hearts of Leviathan, and showed a few people that game. You're going to hear this. Go to imagestudios.us, pick up the game. I haven't. When we stopped playtesting it, I stopped playing it for a while, and I just enjoyed playing it again. And then yesterday, John Russell, my BFF from Warlord Games, who's here, came and we did a little MiG alley with the MiGs. And
that did look cool.
Yeah, we're probably going to play that right after this.
I can't wait for that.
Well, I have it. We're going to do that with the MiGs and the F-86s. And we had a lot of the guys that the Joe Moore, John Tesh, Eric Lauterbach, Alan Moore, all the guys from I-95. They're probably not behind me anymore. Yeah, they are. They played. And then we checked out. I had them check out some Blood and Valor, which is a game. I'm also play testing from the guys from Firelock Games. And it's Great War Skirmish, and I'm starting to get really addicted to that game.
So what do you like about it?
I tell you what, it's a lot of things that I like about Blood and Plunder. It's how fluid it moves, how you always have to make decisions, how you bid for activation, how it's the thing about skirmish games that you want them to play a certain way, and Flames of War, Team Yankee, these are not skirmish games. Skirmish games are a little different. I heard a lot of guys I don't like bolt action. And, Rich Bear, ladies and gentlemen, that, skirmish games play differently. And I think it's a different mindset for skirmish players that play those games than it is for another miniatures games.
You cannot make mistakes about order of precedence. You have to do things in a certain order.
Right.
Or you could, screw yourself out of a great advantage.
Right.
Or you could miss an opportunity.
Yes.
While in an I go, you go style game, order of precedence plays a part, yes, but not nearly as much as in a skirmish game, where losses mean more.
Yeah, and that's a good point. In a skirmish game, especially when you're bidding or you're selecting for activation, you can recover from mistakes.
You can.
I think in other games, the I Go, You Go games, you can have a bad turn that you just can't come back from.
Yep.
And, it's a different mentality. And I hear a lot of Flames of War players say, bolt action. It's a different mentality where a lot of bolt action guys are hardcore skirmish gamers. And I got to be honest, having played both games, it scratches different itches for me.
It scratches different itches, and it plays to a different style of wargaming. And that's really all
it is a different style of wargaming.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. And, it's a fun game. And, going on Blood and Plunder, I know that, let's talk about Tom's road trip here, was that he sat down and we interviewed Mike Tunez. And he goes, I really want to try this game just because of Mike's excitement and the history behind it. I mean, if anybody at a con talks to him, you come away learning not only the game, but an appreciation for the history and an appreciation for, a lot of the sweat equity he and the guys from Firelock put into the game. And, coming here, trying this out for the first time, you cheated the first 2 rounds. It didn't cause any harm.
I did cheat.
But you kind of saw those subtle little things in that game that, it's the constant thinking. And when I played my game, I played with my Scottish militia, which is in a really good list, but it's a kind of a finicky list. I was playing against a guy, it was his maybe 3rd game, and I was saying to him, so if with this activation, you bid cards for activation, what would you do if you were me? And then just trying to see guys learn how skirmish games work. I think that is just so important. And trying to teach guys games. One of the things I noticed with a game like this, I could teach them to appreciate the game more. And it's a lot different how James and I probably learned
I think
Flames of War.
There's a line, right, in terms of what kind of rules I like. And as I've been playing these games for a long time, I've realized that, you get too complicated and you get into it being a simulation and you get bogged down in the rules and it gets to be too Byzantine complicated. You get a game that's too simple, it gets boring really quickly.
Yes.
So you want to hit that sweet spot between it's quick to learn this game, but I'm going to start learning all these nuances of it, and I'm going to start to realize, there's more to it than I thought, or you get a better feel for it. Blood and Plunder is one of those games. Flames of War is one of those games for me where I'm like, I'm learning how these things will work, when I can pull off an assault, when I can do that. Just like the tactics talks you guys are talking about, those are helpful.
Yeah, with as much as you can try to make something simple and then dig deep into it. I can't tell you the amount of hours that I've sat talking with Ed or talking with Senior or talking with Mitch about, hey, what do you think about doing this? I hit lists off of people all the time like, would this work for this application and for something that, the rule book is, 80 pages? Not even? And it's all pictures.
Yeah, it's mostly pictures. Well, and that's the interesting thing about not only how we learn games, but how we play them. And every gamer has a style. Every gamer has what I like to call an OODA loop. Do you guys know the OODA loop? Observe, orient, detect, act. Yeah, it's Boyd. It's good. It's drilled into me from PME. But no, every player has a different style. And it's as soon as you can find a force that fits your style, I feel that's how you're going to be more successful at miniatures games.
Oh, absolutely. I know Jeff may not be too happy me bringing him up, and he I think he did well today, but he thinks he didn't. He really struggled in a lot of lists because he just couldn't do well.
Who's it, Jeff?
Jeff Whitlock.
Oh, one of my best friends.
And he struggled to find a list that he could play, and then he finally hit on a really good one, this French and U.S. Marine combo for Team Yankee.
Right.
And he does really well. I struggled to play against him with it, and he had a few bad matchups today, but you're right. Once you find that play style and once you find that list that complements it,
right,
it takes your gameplay from 0 to 100.
And a lot of times, too, and these companies do it to us, maybe on purposes, that we start playing a list that we like, then they release a new book, and all of a sudden we're learning another list. We want to play the new hotness, and I think that hurts us. I don't think it helps us.
It's almost like they want my money.
Yeah, I don't get that. And, that is like what I like about wave games, that, what was that?
So not my money. I'll 3D print as much as I can.
Yeah. And like, one of the things about Blood and Plunder, they've had 2 iterations of it, and bam, you go and learn the game, that it's not going to change very much. Mike kind of gave me a little secret about what's coming out next. I'm not allowed to talk about it, but the game's evolving slowly. So that means that the lists that guys are playing and starting to like and play are going to be around for a long time. I guarantee this to you, Tom. You picked the Dutch. I think as you start playing this game more, you may realize that maybe this force would be better for me. And the beauty thing about the game is a lot of the models are transferable as long as their arms somewhat the same. And you'll start playing around with like a non-aligned nation, like the Scottish militia are non-aligned, and playing around with it and trying to find a style. And I got lucky in my game because I was able to. The mission we rolled was tailor-made for the force I had, and a lot of it too I noticed is I didn't realize like a lot of the guys that were here playing this was their first time, and I've never seen that in other games where guys go to a tournament to go learn a game, and we were able to do that today. Huh?
It occurs. That's
Oh, it does occur, but never where it was the majority of the players that were here. I know we only had 12
Because
players.
when you asked
Yeah.
at the beginning for people to raise their hands if they had never played before, I think we had 8 people raise their hands. And
Yeah.
even the guys that said, like, there's one guy who I played in the second round who said, oh, yeah, I played 2 games last night to make sure that I kind of knew what I was doing because I was worried that I would be completely lost.
That's how I bring my brothers to tournaments. I say, hey, you need to come with me because we need people for this tournament. I don't know how to play the game. All right, I'll do a game with you tonight. Now you know how to play. Go play 3 rounds of Flames of War.
Yeah, I mean, unless you run across assholes or like you break your leg walking around a table, there's no such thing as a bad day of gaming.
Yeah, I mean, if you roll 6s or 1s, I had good time today.
Yeah, well, 6s are not good in Blood and Plunder.
Oh, well, then I would not be good at Blood and
It's a
Plunder
D10.
then.
It's a D10 game.
10.
Oh, it's a D10-based game.
You know
Oh.
what's interesting? Like, people will say, what I like about this game? It's D10. And a lot of people say, I don't see what the big deal is. It's a huge, huge difference.
Well, every game set that I've ever tried my hand at making, I find the D6 to be it's too controlling.
Yes.
There's not enough option for you to have concealment.
It's not enough variability.
Well, yeah, there's concealment and then there's concealment. And on a D6, 6 is the best you can do. There's ways you can get around that. You can make it 7 or 8 if you roll 5s or 6s after it. But with the D10 or the D12 based system, there's more variation that you can have and more chance to go either way.
Right. Well, you're playing GQ3, which is D12.
D12, yep.
Right, which it works. And then it's you score 1, you hit. You score 10 or 11 or 12 in some of the shot tables, you hit. So it's not scoring high or low. I kind of like that.
It's actually scoring a certain number.
It's a scoring a certain number, and I kind of dig that. Another game, before we go and play some games now, Tom and I tried out is Gunfighter's Ball. You've never seen it before, have you?
No, I hadn't.
So Gunfighter's Ball.
Gunfighter's Ball?
Gunfighter's Ball. I forgot the guy's name. He was here. Let me tell you about my history with Gunfighter's Ball and an interesting story about it.
First off, I've never heard anything about this game. Is it a Western game? Because that's what it sounds like.
What would make you think that? No, it is. It is a Western game.
You're such a jerk.
You're such a what a tool. It's a Western game. So I saw the models not too long ago, and somebody goes, you can download the Greenhorn rules online. So I bought the models. The models are really, really nice.
They're really good.
And they're actual Western characters. They have really 2 types of characters in the game. They have the Clantons, the Jameses, the actual...
Oh, wow. So a little bit of historical.
Yeah, so in the demo we played, for example, I was the Outlaws, and despite the fact that I was drunk as a skunk, he was unable to surprise me. I ran to the window, got the best of him, but then got shot in the neck.
Who are you, Harded?
I was the snake guy who was drunk.
Yeah, but you were also another real guy.
Yeah, the other gunfighter. Oh,
Wesley Harden?
Yes.
John Wesley Harden? And then I was the Duck, which is John Wayne.
Because they can't put the Duke.
And then the Singing Cowboy. So it has
wow.
And then I picked up the pack today. It was, what was it? It was pasta,
every time
linguine
Mitch-
Western. Linguine.
Every time Mitch misses, he had to sing.
Yeah.
And Mitch has a beautiful voice.
I do. I just sing, oh, my darling Clementine.
I mean, don't quit your day job.
No, I'm not. And, if you go and you look at it, it's a beautiful game.
And you told me, how much of this stuff do you have?
Yes.
You bought all of it, right?
Well,
Well,
Mitch doesn't believe in, just get enough to get by and play the
There's
game.
no half measures.
He,
with
looks at
Mitch
the
Reed.
catalog and says, I'll take 1 of these and 2 of those and
that's
5
right.
of these.
And the Naked Lady tees. So the models are nice, and I picked up the models. I was going to play the Greenhorn edition that you can download. And then at the last con from Phalanx Consortium, I bought the rule book because they just was re-released. And then I bought some more stuff that came out. And, I kind of finished it. But I was talking to Chris Jackus. There's Luke. Luke's here. Luke, you haven't been on a podcast in a long time.
I've never been on this podcast, actually.
Actually, you have.
Was I?
Yes.
Just said something in the word.
Yeah, you have.
How did I get on it? Oh.
One of the last
Sorry,
times you were here, you were on. But Luke, ladies and gentlemen, a blast from the past.
Hi, everybody.
Luke,
Hi, how's it going?
what have you been doing for the
I
last
don't like holding
couple of
this
years?
mic so close to me. It's making me a little uncomfortable, Mitch.
Yeah, you should see where I sat on that thing.
Yeah.
So what have you been
Right.
doing for the last couple of years?
Been playing D&D. We've been playing 40K. We've got an incredible Eldar army. And we've got probably 6,000 points worth of Eldar. We've got
just 6,000 points.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, gotcha. So, I mean, we've got a teenage league D&D thing going on in my house. What we do is we do my kids, teenagers, my friend Chris, he's got a teenage daughter, and Eric Lauderback and his 2 teenage sons, and our kids wanted to learn how to play D&D, so we have an irregular session that goes on where I'm actually dungeon mastering Keep on the Borderlands for you guys who used to play a long time ago. That's like module B2. That was something I grew up with. And the fun part of that is it's actually the same module that I got in 1980. So I'm using the same one, and it is worn out by right about now. So
I do want to say something. It's going to gush, but when I heard you were coming, I haven't seen you at one of these things. I am happy to see you and happy to see Jack as well, man. And so I've definitely missed seeing you at these things.
Thanks.
No, I mean, really.
Well, if you paid your $29.95, you could, go to the website just like everybody else, Mitch. And,
Does it cost $29.95?
Yeah, you could see lots.
Really?
Yeah.
Like,
you'd get to see a lot. That's right.
yeah.
Hope you got a long monitor.
You know, it was
Do
funny.
You get to see everything.
I'm going to say something, and I know Luke's going to run away after I say this. It's also touching. I thought of you not too long ago.
I'm sure.
I was watching
when you were in the shower.
I was watching a video, and then, the watermark comes on, and it was Dixie's trailer park. And I said, man, I miss Luke.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry. He's
why are you touching your nipples when you're saying this to me? That's the
because
part
I
that
like
bothers me.
it. I really like it.
Is there anybody videotaping this just for the
I hope
judge?
not.
Yeah.
I really hope not.
Got it. Right. All right. Well, I'm going to let you guys go. My son and Brian Sherry's son Kenshin were just playing 40K. And, the best part is I'm going to put this up on my Facebook page later, but without being told or anything, when the game ended, and I don't even know who won, I saw them both at the same time reach across the table and shake their hands, and I was like, wow, I feel like I just wanted to just kind of drop the mic and walk away. Like I succeeded as a father.
And anybody that
I'm
remembers
good.
you from playing, that sometimes didn't happen.
Yeah. I mean, those kids are they got it together, maybe better than their old man. So anyway, listen, thanks, everybody. Have a good time. And, it was nice.
No, we did. I did. I'll tell you.
by.
I
I appreciate
when
it. Well,
I
it's
knew
good
you
to
were
see
here,
you
I was
guys.
very excited.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll be back because Jim Best came over to me to hug me and touch me inappropriately. And, yep.
I touched Kato inappropriately today.
I'm sure you did.
Because I went to go, ha-ha him. Mm-hmm. And, he's a slender
And he turned
man.
wrong?
Kind of he did, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
gotcha.
I mean, before we get kicked off iTunes, let's not talk about all the people.
Kind of
who
like when your
appropriately.
proctologist has both hands on your shoulder doing the exam.
I should have screamed Cancho.
Yeah.
Kancho when I did that. I
Gotcha.
didn't, so
Understood.
sorry, Kato.
Yeah. All right. Well, what were you guys talking about anyway? Flames of War? You guys got something going
No,
on? with
we're
that?
talking about Blood and Plunder.
Yeah, right
Actually,
on.
we're getting ready to play.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, we're getting ready to go. We're getting up early in the morning. So I got
Send it-
Boy Scout camp on Sunday, so we got to leave tomorrow.
One last time, I want to hear you send it back to the studio.
What?
Send it back to the studio.
I don't even remember what we used to say.
I don't remember either.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
And now you know why we fight, or be right back, and we'll be right back, or welcome to News from the Front, the Flames of War podcast, something for
Well,
gamers,
Luke has
by
just come up
gamers,
with
No,
about
I-
a billion different ways.
maybe
to
some
end this show.
Russians.
Yeah. You used to
Something
have
like that.
really, really good.
Yeah,
your
Brian
intro.
Sherry just made me say it, and it came back to me like I was in some kind of internment camp where
Can we
it
hear
was
it
like
again?
pressed into me. Like I feel like a sleeper agent.
Can we hear it again?
Like no, I really don't want to do
It's
it. So, yeah.
construction, mind
Yeah, it was-
deconstruction.
I stumbled all over it. Right? Yeah. So,
Come on. I mean, you have to have some of it back. The funniest thing I remember was Eric stopped touching yourself when we were looking at each other in video. Because Eric.
Well, one of the things that you guys remember, the guys would, when I was doing this, they would, and if I ever stumbled during the intro, it was because these guys, you wouldn't even believe what these guys were doing. You said PG show, I can't even begin to tell you what they were doing, while I was trying to distract me from making that happen. But
and he would get like halfway through it, and he'd be like, "That sucked. Let's do it again. 3, 2, 1."
More times than you can possibly know. We talked about doing a bloopers reel, and we could just do, so many things that we had to cut and edit. And Mitch, like when we were doing it, there was plenty of times like, all right, we might as well just stop this right here.
I remember one time, it was one of our longer shows. I can admit this now. I fell asleep.
Yeah.
I was so tired, and I was sitting in a very too comfy of a chair, and I'm like falling asleep. And it's weird to hear Eric and Luke in your mind when you're sleeping. It's like that scene from Animal House with the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other.
Yeah, and I'm getting text message from Eric going, is he asleep?
Yeah, and I'm like, so it was good. But
that's all
damn
right.
good seeing you again, boss.
Well, listen, thank you guys again. Good luck. Keep on gaming. We'll talk to you soon.
Happy gaming.
All right, so we're going to go game. We'll speak to you later.
Thanks so much for joining the show tonight. Remember to follow us on Twitter at No Dice, No Glory. And keep the conversation going on NoDiceNoGlory.com, now featuring our own message boards. Have a great night, everybody.